If only I could go back and make sure this never happened. Chances are, you remember the 4 cuddly Teletubbies from the TV show. You know, the 4 cute alien-like babies who lived in a field. Well, I was one of those kids charmed by their cuteness and always laughed, sang and danced with them. I had a lot of Teletubbies VHS tapes, and I even owned a Tinky Winky plush. Tinky Winky was my favorite Teletubby. But, one day, all of that changed. It was the first day of summer vacation, and I was happy to get some days off work, as the work hours for me were ridiculous. I finally had time to spend days with my kids, as my wife passed away only 5 years after our marriage due to breast cancer. But this day, I decided to have a day of revisiting nostalgia. I got a couple of Blue's Clues and Wiggles DVDs and VHS tapes from the basement and also dusted down the old VCR, as I thought of playing the DVDs on my laptop. But as I found the VCR, there was a mysterious tape on it. There wasn't anything different about it, as it was just a normal looking tape. It was a Teletubbies VHS called Teletubbies, Knives and Other Stories. The title was a bit strange, as I never would have thought there would be an episode of a show like Teletubbies to involve knives. But it was an extra piece of nostalgia for me, so I took it back into the living room. After I was done with one of my Wiggles VHSs, I decided to put in this mysterious Teletubbies tape. I was hoping that I would find the charm and cuteness of Tinky Winky and the gang again. And I did, for 2 episodes. Those 2 were normal episodes of the show, and I did manage to wear a large smile of nostalgia on my face. Then came the episode named on the cover, Knives. I wanted to see what it was about, as I was still rather curious. The intro was just like the first 2 episodes, the baby sun rising, the Teletubbies running round the field, and running away shortly after the magical windmill started spinning. During the episode, there was a mysterious knife on the ground, the camera zoomed in on it, and honestly I was getting more confused as ever. Then Tinky Winky and Lala came and saw the knife on the grass.
"What's that?"
they asked in their baby-like language. The narrator then answered,
"Be careful, you 2 Teletubbies. That's a knife."
This made Tinky Winky for some strange reason pick it up.
"Knife! Knife!"
he said, waving it around. I didn't think this was safe at all. I prayed and prayed in my mind that nothing would have happened. Tinky Winky kept waving the knife around and started laughing out loud. Until it happened. Tinky Winky accidentally stabbed Lala in the chest, causing her to bleed out. This extremely disturbed me, as the blood was actually bleeding out of the suit. It's almost as if the actress actually got stabbed. Lala fell to the grass and died. Tinky Winky looked down at the corpse and said,
"Uh-oh!"
The narrator then screams,
"Murder! Murder!"
Upon hearing this, Tinky Winky turns to the camera and slowly walks towards it.
"Someone help me!"
the narrator screeched. Tinky Winky raised the knife over his shoulder as if he was gonna stab the camera. It then fades to black out of nowhere, and all that was heard was the narrator's blood-curdling scream and stabbing sound effects. I hid behind one of the Blue's Clues DVDs I had lying around on the table. When I peeked back at the TV, I saw the most haunting image I've ever seen. It was a frame of Tinky Winky, looking straight at the monitor with huge red eyes and cracks and holes all over his face. In the background was Lala's stabbed body, along with Dipsy and Po hanging on nooses. Tinky Winky then says the most scariest thing ever.
"Tinky Winky coming for you. Tinky Winky kill you."
Then the TV switched off by itself. My heart was pounding very fast. It was as if I was on a roller coaster. I nearly felt like I was gonna vomit. Why would Tinky Winky kill such people? Why was this tape in my basement? Did the BBC or PBS ever air this episode by accident? I wouldn't like to think so. I took the tape out of the VCR and started to bang it against the banister on the staircase several times before I threw it on the floor, started stomping on it and kicking it around my living room. I wanted it gone so bad, I threw it like a frisbee right out the kitchen window. I threw it so far I don't even know where it landed. I dusted off my hands and began cooking dinner. The rest of the day went fine. I had some mac and cheese like my kids, and I had a shower before I tucked the kids up in bed as I promised them to take them to the park the next day. It took myself a good few hours before I went to sleep, as I couldn't stop thinking about that episode. I always become very cautious whenever I let my kids watch one of my Teletubbies tapes, as I keep thinking about Tinky Winky and that knife, and who knows if that tape I threw just happened to land nearby your house. Be warned.